Hi, I'm Pastor Rafe, and I just want to share some thoughts with you today around Psalm number 56. Psalm 56, verse 2 says, "When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you." I know that I have found myself uh, turning to the Psalms a whole lot more because there are Psalms that say, "How long, how long, how long does this have to go on?" And I know that we feel like we're in a place like that. How long does it have to go on? But this one, 56, really struck me this past week when I read, "When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you." The state is beginning to open up. The whole nation and world is beginning to talk about the phases and the steps of how we return to our economy, how we return to work, how we return to the things that we know. And this is the state's talking. We're going to open up. This is going to open, and that's going to open, and this is going to open, but not South Florida, not Southeast Florida. Dade and Broward and Palm Beach counties and Broward, where we live, um, you know, things are not opening up. So they're opening up for everybody else around us, but they're not opening up for us. And that means, is there something that's still more dangerous? And I know that many of us, as things open up, we're going to be a little more afraid, a little more worried about, they're opening up, but some people are now traveling to other parts of the state to, get their hair done or something. And now they're going to be coming back. And if they're going somewhere else and they're coming in and out of here, are we going to be spreading the disease? How are we going to go back to church and be in a church building and a facility and do those things? How are we going to go to events? How are we going to go to concerts? How are we going to go to sporting events? This quarantine is going on for too long, and there's no travel and there's no being with friends. Yes, we can make phone calls and do that. Please do that. Connect with people. But how long is this going to go on? And we're afraid. And I know there's many of us who are going to be very afraid about the next steps, the next things. Is it going to be safe? Are we going to be able to do it? When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you. Psalm 56 comes back to that and says, in God I trust. I am not afraid. In God I trust. I guess we borrowed that to put it on our money. In God we trust. But in God I trust, and I will not be afraid. Because here's the thing. If I know God and I know Jesus Christ, what can a pandemic do to me? If I trust in God, what can a quarantine do to me? A quarantine can't hurt my soul and my connection to God. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'll share with you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to recreate. I'm going to exercise. And I'm trusting in God while I'm safe at home and doing things safe at home. I'm going to trust in God that I can connect with people via technology, phone calls, what have you. I'm going to trust in God that my emotional needs for community will be met and the opportunities that will be before me. I'm going to trust in God that I can go safely to parks and enjoy the outdoors and walk my dogs and bike ride and run and exercise. I'm going to trust in God that the next steps will be healthy and whole for rebuilding an economy and rebuilding our culture, rebuilding our neighborhoods, rebuilding our jobs, and yes, our churches. In God, I trust. I am not afraid. Amen and amen.